Hello everybody, this is Guard with another draft. Just gonna go ahead and start it. No real intro this time. Oh wow, another Xerox. I mean it kind of sucks to... I kind of wanted to draft different archetypes each time, at least for the first few drafts, but honestly all these cards suck except for Xerox. A Nekrium is really greedy. Like it's a repeatable Technomancer that really needs Nekrium to be good. Dreadbolt's just a removal spell, it's whatever. Fire is bad. Size Gap is actually a good card. It can control the tempo of your opponent's plays, but it's just nowhere near as powerful as Xerox or even Verdant Charge. Verdant Charge is good too, but it's just not on the same level as Xerox because its level 1 is so mediocre. It's only +1/+1 in region 1. So I'm just going to take Xerox and then try to jam a Tempys spell. I'm sorry, a Nekrium spell. Luckily I get the Berserk Drake, which is an allied Tempest card. If it's just a kind of mediocre creature with regenerate if it's Nekrium only. But with Tempest it gets mobility, scaling mobility 1, 2, and 3. So it's super strong. I'm just gonna take it here. Mobility is one of the strongest mechanics in the game. Let me go ahead and sort my creatures by attack. Make an image. This isn't even really close. It's still Berserk Drake. Berserk Drake's also a rare. It's kind of surprising I got 2 of them so early. Nagathori or Fire Fistronti are bad, and Cold Week is... I mean, it's not as good as Berserk Drake. So, we're drafting the same sort of Berserk, Nekrium, Tempest, deal a bunch of damage to them strategy, like use mobility and gluttons, stuff like that, to force through damage and kill them early. It's one of my... actually probably my favorite strategy in this format. Dr. Frankenbaum does damage when things die, but it's so small. I'm not sure it's worth it. Whereas Steam Sentinels are kind of like a... what's that card called? Stormcaller? The 8/6 rank 1 that can attack. It's kind of like a Stormcaller that can't attack, but it does scale much better. So it's like a defender. Well, it is a defender, but it's a really good blocker. So, I think I've talked about all these cards before. These 3, Glacial Crush, Raw Wonder, and Ronti Warstoker, are really mediocre. Firelight Hunter is a card I want to touch on because I see people playing it a lot, and I think it's just an awful card. It's so small. It's a 4/2, which means you want to use it to block primarily. Cards like this that are small with an effect, like Garanti Elementalist, Garanti Warbringer, cards like that. Usually you block with them and use your effect on something else, but this card can't do that because it has Assault, which means you have to play it in an empty lane. And if you play a 4/2 by itself, it's just going to die to whatever blocks it. It's not even going to be a trade. And the effect isn't big enough to warrant that, so I pretty much never take this card. It's not very good. Which leaves us Portal Shade and Spiritfrost Shaman. Spiritfrost Shaman's a common, so I'm probably going to see more of them if I want them. I'm just going to take the Portal Shade here. It's also really big for its cost. Don't actually know the pick here. Contagion Lord is decent if you can get enough Abominations. It actually might be good. This is what I'm struggling with. I know Wind Primordial is very good for this deck, but it's a common, so I could probably pick up more of them. Contagion Lords are heroic. I just don't know how good, how many Abominations I'll be able to have. And actually the card at Soulbind's Contagion Fiend is actually really bad. It's like adding 1 good card to your deck and 1 bad card. I think Contagion Lord's good enough to where I wanted my deck though. Because the Abominations I have will be what, Glutton? It's like a way of leveling your cards in Nekrium, which Nekrium doesn't even have. Because you get to play an extra card per turn. So I think I'm just going to grab the Contagion Lord here. We've got Corpse Crawler and Frost Shatter Strike as the 2 picks. I don't have anything for Corpse Crawler right now, and it's actually pretty hard to pick up creatures that you can sacrifice to it. I think it's pretty much only Deathseeker and whatever's dead on the board. Whereas Frost Shatter Strike's really good with the Xerox I have, and just really good in this archetype in general, so I'm just going to take it. Blightwalker and Scourge Hydra. Scourge Hydra is gigantic. I actually love it in this deck archetype. It's so big, and you can slam your Berserk Drakes that have regen if you want to regen the damage off, or you can hit something that's gonna die anyway because they all have really low toughness. I'm gonna. I think in this case, Corpse Crawler is a bigger upside than Crypt Slime because when I draw Crypt Slime, I'm not likely to play it ever. When I play Corpse Crawler, I'm also not likely to play it, but if I, in the cases that I am, it's going to be much better than Crypt Slime. So it's got a higher impact. Ooh, this is a really good pack. I mean, it's actually just got like 2 good cards in it. Infernal Visage, Sarvbane. Actually, Everflame War is really good with Xerox as well. Everflame War is a card I actually really like in draft. It gives mobility, scaling mobility. The damage aspect of it's not very good, but you use that part for killing early game threats if you need to. And the spell just works really well as a rank 1 spell. But obviously the big here is Sarvbane because it can take over a game on its own. Or, well, control your opponent's board to such an extent that you free reign. 2 cards stand out, Stormcaller and Bitterfrost Totem. Stormcaller is an aggressive removal spell, sort of. Like you can attack with it. Bitterfrost Totem is just really efficient. Like, if you're at rank 2 and it's rank 1, it's a -6/-6, which is the largest of its class. And then if you have to play it in rank 1, it's -8/-8, which is still about average, which is good. So I'm actually just going to take it here. This pick's actually kind of difficult. I think it's Blizzard Shaman. Like, it's either Blizzard Shaman, Frostshire Striker, or Ronti Elementalist, which only narrows out Spark Soul. Bless his heart. Ronti Elementalist is small and can let me pick where I think it goes, with respect to it has to be adjacent to it. Blizzard Shaman's big, like it's a 10/11 at rank 2, which is a little better than average, and it's a 6/7 at rank 1, which is much better than average. So I think I'm gonna pick this, and not the Frost. I don't think Frostshire Strike's in much contention here. Now it is. It's either Wind Primordial or Frostshire Strike. I think I'd rather have a first Primordial than a second Frost Shatter. Yeah. Om Nom Nom's not good. I don't even have any zombies. Ooh. I actually think this pick's kind of tough. It's either Glutton or Hydra. As far as the Glutton goes, it's just another abomination for the Contagion Lord. But Scourge Hydra is so big. Like even if it's a 7/4, dealing 3 damage to itself, it doesn't have to do more damage per rank. So at rank 2, it's a 11/7 or 11/8, and at rank 3, it's a 17/14, which is huge. So I'm just gonna take it here. It's a really difficult card to deal with if you play your cards right. Thranic Ambusher is like a downsideless Scourge Hydra. You have to play it in a lane people aren't in, but since I want to play aggressively anyway, that's what I want to do. If this wasn't in the pack, I'd take the Flame Rough Instigator because I have a Steam Sentinel already, and making that lose Defender is gas. Oh, Halazeth, this isn't close. Like, I like Volcanic Giant probably more than the next guy, but the last time I played this deck, I just like pretty much won every game off Halazeth, so there's no reason not to take it. The choice of 2 Abominations is obviously Glutton for the damage. I guess I take Necroflay. Frost Shatter Strike works with their Fire Fist Duranti, but that's like all I have to do with it, and I really don't want to level this card. Whereas leveling Necroflay, it's actually worse than Bitterfrost Totem at every rank. So, but maybe I'll pick up more Necroflays and get a lucky turn. It's either Abyssal Brute or Wind Primordial. The Battle Brand's okay. I don't like taking Tempest removal spells very much. Well, Battle Brand is exceptional if you're in Aloyan, but I'm not in Aloyan, so I don't really want to take it. It's just a 6 damage spell, kind of like Everflame Aura, but it doesn't have the mobility aspect, which is what makes Everflame Aura good. Degen Siphon's another removal spell I'm not taking because I don't have the Ally Terra, which is what makes the card... Like, this card's actually just worse than Necroflay if I don't have Utera. Crypt Slime and Zithian Hulk I'm not taking. So it's either Wind Primary or Abyssal Brute. I think it's Abyssal Brute. I really like having side lane interactions in this deck, and I already have 3 creatures of mobility. I have, let me check my factions. Yeah, I have plenty of Tempys to make Berserk Trick online, I think. So I'm going to take the Abyssal Brute, maybe draft a few more Tempest cards. It's more important to have Nekrium than Tempest, I think, because of Xerox. I'd rather have an active Xerox than an active Berserk Drake, but I don't think I'll have too much problem activating either, to be honest. Wow, I could take a third Scourge Hydra. That actually might be the pick. And it's either Scourge Hydra, Elementalist, or Instigator. I don't think it's Instigator, because it's all kind of worse than Scourge Hydra. I only have the Steam Sentinel to activate my Instigator. And Scourge Hydra is a 7-3, or 7-4 rather than a 7-2. And it scales not better, because this is like, what, 12-17? So it's Flamer's a little better in rank 2. But even still, Scourge Hydra is gigantic, and having a lot of Scourge Hydras never led me wrong. Especially with the Abyssal Brew I just picked up. I can give my Scourge Hydra or creatures regenerate. I'm not feeling Spirit Leash in this deck, because my things are gigantic. I have 3 Scourge Hydras and a Thranic Ambusher. My things are gigantic. Like, and I have nothing to sacrifice. So I'm just going to take the Stormcaller. Take a Glutton for the Abomination factor. Arante Warbringer. Kind of feels the same role as Battlebrand. I think this pick is tough. It's between Portal Shade, Blizzard Shaman, and Infernal Visage. I generally only like to have 1 Blizzard Shaman in my deck. I might be wrong about that, but the randomness factor, as well as it not scaling very well as you put more creatures into play, because it can't move around things, it definitely falls off in multiples. Portal Shade's a great card, but it's a vanilla creature unless you're at the end of a rank. I think I want Infernal Visage because it makes my creatures much better. Lets the Scourge Hydra's damage thing, and they can regen back up with the regen from Infernal Visage. Plus, it's a really good form of pump in a color combination, which otherwise just doesn't have any. And there's second Halazeth. This is actually like the dream pack. It's like 4 really bad cards and Halazeth. Well, not really bad, but I could take Corpse Crawler here, but I again still have nothing to sacrifice other than like the Contagion Fiend, which I don't even want to play. Like whenever I draw Contagion Fiend, I'm just not going to play it. So I'm going to take Glacial Crush in case my opponents have something like super gigantic. Glacial Crush over the Wall Breaker because you have to. Wall Breaker is level gated. It can only kill things on the same level as that. But Glacial Crush is not level gated at all, and it gets free. So if they do have like some gigantic Cinder Colossus or something like that, you can kill it, and then the next turn you just kill it for free. Glutton, this pick's not close. And last pick, it's actually more difficult than I thought. I already have 4 Gluttons. Playing 5 is probably overkill. I'd rather have a 4-2 split of Gluttons than Warbringers than a 5-1 split, because this gives me more options, even though I think Glutton is generally a better card. So sweet. That was the draft. I actually really like this draft deck. It's a lot better than the last one I played in this color combination. Let's see here. I think my mouse is disappearing. I can't see where I'm clicking. Okay, there we go. So I actually got like 4 heroics too, which is not that bad. Got a bunch of huge creatures, like a bunch of Berserk Drakes, a bunch of Scourge Hydras, and a Thranic Ambusher. I'm pretty sure I'm just like gonna be jamming with gigantic creatures until I die. But yeah, should be fun. See y'all in round 1.